there's a lot of thoughts behind text backs, right? Somebody doesn't text you back in a fast enough manner. Man, everything was going good. And then, we had a period of 3 days where we didn't talk. And then the person came back and said that they were busy. Okay. Now I get you. It's very off, very odd. Okay. So a good flow, something happened. It was just an example that they used. But this is my thought towards that, because like you take that and you note it for sure. But have you ever considered that maybe communication skills could also go as far as to asking and considering that person, well, why did that happen? What took place? This is kind of odd. I'm not a fan of it. You think we could, if this is something you genuinely want to think about remaining in and pursue, possibly, like, it's kind of weird. What happened there? And being direct about it. What I see people do is they see that and they're like, man, I'm finna block them. I'm finna block them. I'm finna get rid of them. I could care less. They don't want to show me that energy. And it's a lot of jumping to extremes. If there's something I've learned in these last 8 months, almost 9 tomorrow, bro, you got to get into a place where you're willing to ask questions. If it's something you're serious about, if it's something you genuinely want to know, because you just don't know. Like, we're quick to take offense to those things. As a culture, we're quick to take offenses to every small thing. And I just think that even something as potentially minuscule as a text back, I think you just should consider, like, yo, is there something else going on? Is there, like, and getting and asking the question and being willing to deal with whatever answer comes.
Let me ask you. I agree with you, man. Let me ask you this:
Yeah.
How long should you deal with that, though? Just as a point of reference.
Yeah, in terms of like just somebody going so long without talking to you.
Yeah.
Man, I think that I would say it depends on the context of the relationship. I would say that, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so I think it depends on the context. So if this person refuses to give you an explanation as to why, I think you should just, consider other options. Because they have yet, you've asked, you've considered, and they just have yet to give you any kind of ample opportunity or response to anything. I think you would be good to move on. That could definitely be something, maybe more along the lines closer to maybe what you first assumed before questioning it. I think that if there's a context where this person didn't respond or hasn't responded for so long, because they aren't too sure how to communicate what's going on around them. They can't put it into words. They're not really good. It's not, the basic communication skills isn't really too basic for where they are, right? I think you take that into consideration. Okay. So then maybe we can find a better way to communicate maybe when something's going on, deal with whatever kind of assumptions we're having in this space. It's so many contexts. If this is an individual who both of like, and here's something too, man, because I think this is actually relatable to where I'm at, in a friendship arena, but something that I'm in a place of. So we have a great, phenomenal time when we're in person. There's not a moment, there's not a time that we have kicked it and we've been in person where things weren't amazing and things weren't fun and things weren't smooth, right? So taking that into consideration, when we do have our conversations, they're very substantial. They're very fun and engaging, can get very deep, very much worth the time and effort. When I take those things into consideration, the length of time that I don't see a text or that I don't get a response actually may not be so bothersome. Okay. Because when we're in person and when we're enjoying ourselves and we're enjoying time together, it's great. It's a great connection. So there's something else, right? It could actually be that, man, they just aren't in a place where they're properly balancing their time. So, and they're able to properly deal with that.
Okay, so let me ask you this then.
Yeah.
Being said then, so you actually have to be basically okay on your side.
Oh yeah.
What you're saying is right. So
absolutely.
That's got to be a large
absolutely
part.
Absolutely. If you're not a fan of that, don't force yourself into that position just because of somebody you're connected to.
Yeah.
If you're not a fan of that, you're not okay with that. Don't stick to that.
Yeah,
You
because a
know,
lot of that is about knowing yourself, right?
one
And what
thousand
your
percent.
capacity is for those types of activities.
Yeah,
Right?
just like you have to know your capacity too when you engage. I mean, like, if you're dealing with somebody who is in a position where they're like, "Yo, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what I want to do here,
Right.
or where I want to go. There's a lot of things I want to consider, and I'm just not in a place where I feel I can consider that to the degree that I would like to in this season of my life.
Right.
You have to be willing to make a decision on whether you want to stay or not. Like, you have to be willing to be like, okay, I honestly deal with this? And am I okay if at the end of it, I'm not chosen? That's a tough one, but it's something that you need to consider
Yeah, man. Yeah.
because that's real. Cause like it would be so disingenuous for that person to guarantee to you based on where things may be in the moment that, hey, I'm gonna choose you. I just need some time. Cause I mean, how much time are we talking about? Right. And am I willing to stay past inconveniences? Because I kind of had this plan in my mind when I first came into this space of maybe how long it would take for us before we got to an exclusive space. And maybe that won't happen anymore. So, like, are you okay with that? Can you be okay with that? Not everybody is. And so you have to be willing to know yourself and know what you're willing to stand with and stand for. And if that's not something you're okay with, man, listen, I appreciate you. I see where you are. This is just isn't what I'm looking for in this moment. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Now, here's something that I would challenge anybody who would be in that position with, not necessarily to stay, but just something to consider. Are you in a position? Would you consider yourself to be in a position where you're ready for things to be picked up at a fast pace right now, this moment? Like, if you were to separate from this situation that isn't bad, and she didn't, and it's not like that person is saying no. They're just like, I just, it's caution. I just need time. I got a lot of stuff I'm dealing with. Like, it's not a no, where things stand. You have to ask yourself, yo, like, if I were to separate from this and go get something that I think I really want, which is somebody who's completely invested in me from jump,
Right.
and things get picked up really fast to the point where we could potentially become an item in 3 months' time, like, am I ready for that to be a priority in my life right now? Can I handle that if that were to come my way right now? Would I even enjoy that, you know, to that extent? And I think you consider those options. You just consider that and give some thought. You're not a simp for waiting. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be honest. Like
Yeah.
like you're not a simp for waiting. It's a cultural term and it's terrible. Like, you're not a simp for choosing to be like, man, no, I really want to commit to know this one person. And I'm okay with the process and pace of it in terms of where we're at, knowing where we're at, and knowing that there isn't necessarily something that has to come out of this on the other side where it's going the way I want. Because I could use this time to do X, Y, and Z, get some things in order, be actually prepared for when that moment could potentially come. If not with her, somebody else. Like, you're not a simp for waiting, y'all. You're not. Like, that's lame. Um, I'm learning that there are a lot of people who are healing from hurt people in this culture. And so it's going to there, you're probably going to come across more people now than maybe you would have some years prior of individuals waiting. And you're going to need to wait because things are going to need time because that person's healing from something that hurt them greatly, and they're not willing to step into something so fast because they remember how that felt, and they're like, I'm not going back, so I'm going to check all my boxes, and I'm going to make sure that things are in the right space and situation, I'm ready to step into this before anything else pops off. So I think there's a greater chance, y'all, that when y'all step into this dating scene and y'all really see what things for where they are. Yes, you're gonna have your typical, man, they not looking for nothing serious. But for the people that are, man, it's like, it's crazy how fast it can happen because they get closer to you and things start looking legit, and then they start backing off. And this is just man and woman. This isn't just gender specific. Um, they start backing off, man, because they're starting to see a lot of stuff pop back up in them. There's a lot of fears that they have to deal with and that they're in the position to confront because of the connection. It's a lot of that. And so, they want to run, slide back, you know? And so again, but if you don't stick around to at least ask questions and curiosity and get to know that person a little bit to see where they are, you'll just assume that it's all you and that you're the problem or that they're the problem and that I just need to go. But you got to be willing to ask these questions if you're serious about it. If you're serious about it. And so I think you just judge it based on the context of the relationship and really see where that goes. And just like that, this video has come to the end. But don't worry, your boys got more. Subscribe, like this video, share it with a friend, and definitely check out the channel to learn more about how you can build healthy, happy, whole, and biblical relationships. I'll see you over there. Peace.